This is our program, and the title of it is Parabol Movement because in this program what we want is to show how does the parabol changes when it increases the magnitude of the amplitude of the graph. And by this we mean a the a variable. So this is for first we have the x variable. At the beginning it marks the position in which the parabol will begin. If the if the sign of this variable changes, so it is positive, then the amplitude will not increase, it will reduce. And we also have the c variable, and this marks the initial position of the parabol in the y-axis. What it does is to translate the position of the parabol, as Ara say, in the y-axis. In this case, the position of the parabol will be in the origin. Then we have the setup. This is the size of the window. We have the stroke and the frame rate. The frame rate is it specifies the number of frames to be displayed every second. For example, if we put like a random number to the a variable and not a constant change, what it will do is um, to draw a lot of the number of parables that you mark in this one. But in our case, as the parable changes in a constant rate, the frame rate will help us to change the velocity in which the parabol have the varying in the amplitude. Then we have the void draw, and this is the background and the text. This is to put like a title in the program. Then we have to translate and and these two line. What we want to do here was to draw the Cartesian plane, so you can see how does it change when how does the parabol change according to the axis, the y and the x-axis. Then we have these four. These four help us to draw only one parabol because as we don't have the instruction of no loop, then we have to do this to indicate that it's going to be only one parabol. For example, I can do like here like two parabols, and as I say, if I put it like uh, in a random DA variable, then you will have two different parables that will appear at the same time, in the same rate, and in the same amount of time, in the same amount of types. Then we have how does the a variable changes. This is like an x. This is how the a variable changes, and you can see it is a constant change. Each time it will increase the same amount of time, the same amount. Then we have the C that, as I say, shows the translation of the parabol. In the y-axis, we only put like a really small number just to show you that it has some effect in the graph. Later I'm going to change it to a bigger rate to see how it change and what does it do that. And at least we have the proper drawing of the parable. This is the equation, and we put this to make that the parable uh, stay in the positive y-axis, well, begin in the positive y-axis, and as it continues the movement or the change, it will go to the negative y-axis. So I'm going to show this again later. And at least we have this point that draws the that draws these points. That's why I have 200 points. That is going to be the number of points that we will grab. And this is where you will grab the x and the y point. Then we have the key press. This is a user this is for the user, so it can stop the movement of the parable to see. Also, it will change the color, but it won't appear on the screen until you continue or restart the movement of the parable. When you use the mouse press, then you will continue with the parable, but if you use the key press, you will stop it and change the color. But as I said before, it won't appear, it won't be visible the change until the movement restarts. Then we have the concentration of the colors, because as I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the colors are random. What I do here is to go to this method. This method what does is to make a random color of the red concentration. This method does the same with the green, and this one the same with the blue. And each one of these calls the method and then we are going to play the program. As I said, the program does the movement and show us how does the graphs behave when the amplitude is bigger. Now I'm going to show you how it changes the colors. As I say, when you press the keyboard, it will stop the movement, as you can see. But if I click here, it will change the color and it will continue. If I press the key, it stops. Now, as I said, if you change this, what it will do is to reduce and not increase. But to do this, we also need to change the beginning the amplitude, the initial amplitude of the graph. Like I'm going to put it here like 001 and it's play. It reduces the amplitude and continue with the movement. And if we want to begin the movement in the negative y-axis, then we need to erase this sign and it will appear in the negative y-axis. And that's all what the program does.